السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وبارك وسلم تسليما كثيرا. أما بعد, welcome to Quranic Arabic Academy, Arabic Grammar Made Easy, lesson number 11. In the last lesson, we looked at some types of verbs. The middle letter has alif. Last lesson. 1 minute. The middle letter will have alif, and this type of files are called ajwaf, and this alif was changed either from waw or from ya. So is there any way to find out what was the original letter? Was it the waw? Was it the ya? Yes, there is a tip that when we learn fa'al mudari', the first siga fa'al mudari', the original letter comes back. Once we know the first siga of mudari', we will know what was the original letter. For example, the fa'al qala, how do we know the alif was changed from ya or waw? If we see the first siga of fa'al mudari', yaqulu, after the qaf, waw, yaqulu. So we will know this waw is original. When we go back to qala, we know the waw is changed from ya. So this type of fa'al, the fa'al madi sigas are different from normal sigas. So we need to memorize this type of fa'al so to know which siga it is. So let's take one fa'al and go through quickly. Qala, 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 qalu, qalat, qalata, qulna. From this siga, we know the first letter qaf will change its haraka to dhamma. Qulta, qultuma, qultum, qulti, qultuma, qultunna, qultu, qulna. So when the alif was changed from waw, so from this siga, jama muannas ghaib siga, the qaf will have dhamma. And if a alif is changed from ya, from the jama muannas ghaib siga, the first letter will have a kasra. For example, ja'a, what is the mudari'? Obviously, we haven't learned that yet, but those of us we know is yaji'u. See, the ya comes back, yaji. So from here we'll know the alif was changed from ya. So whenever we learn a fa'al, we learn both fa'al madi and fa'al mudari' together. Qala yaqulu, ja'a yaji'u. So this will help us to find out the original letter. So let's go through ja'a, 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 ja'u, ja'at, ja'ata, ji'na. Because the original letter was ya. So first letter will have a kasra. Ji'na, ji'ta, ji'tuma, ji'tum, ji'ti, ji'tuma, ji'tunna, ji'tu, ji'na. We came. Today's lesson, when the last letter is either waw or ya. If the last letter of fi'l madi is waw or ya, again this changes to alif. It changes to alif. So how would we now change the alif from waw or ya? This kind of fi'l is called fi'l naqis. And fi'l naqis we will know from the first siga of fi'l madi. We don't need to go to mudari. We will know from first siga of fi'l madi, was it the alif changed from the waw or from the ya. Even we go to mudari, the original comes back as well. But here for naqis, from the first siga we will know. So let's go to the lesson and we will see how to know, how to find out. Lesson number 11, ناقص. In a three-letter verb, if the last letter is an alif, again it has been changed from waw or ya, is called ناقص. Some of the sigas of ناقص in al-fi'l al-madi are different from the normal sigas. Okay. So the ajwaf is alif is in the middle, and that alif has been changed from waw or ya. And if the last letter is an alif, that is also changed from ya or waw, and it is called naqis. Okay, so if you see the difference, first one, tala, to recite, da'a, to call or to pray, afa, to forgive, bagha, to want or to seek, jara, to flow, jaza, to reward, asa, to disobey. See the writing, tala, da'a, afa. And look at the next one, bagha, jara. So if the original letter was waw, is written with alif. The last letter is written with alif. And if the original letter was ya, it is written with ya. But we're not pronouncing ya, we're pronouncing the alif. Bagha. So this is called alif maqsura. When there is a fatha, then we see ya. This is another way of writing the alif maqsura. Sometimes we call it stretching fatha. Let's see a little alif on top of ya. Okay. So this is how to find naqis. The original letter, was it waw or was it ya? If the first sigha of fi'l madi is written with alif, we'll know the original letter was waw. And if the last letter is written with ya, that ya is not pronounced. If it's written with ya, then we will know the original letter was ya. Okay, next line, qada, to decree or to fulfill. Kafa, to suffice. Hada, 163 times comes in the Quran. To guide, to direct. Khashiya. So here, the original letter was ya, and it hasn't been changed. It is ya. Nasiya, again, it hasn't been changed. Original letter is ya, the ya remains. أتى. Here it was changed to alif. So why is the last letter ya changed to alif, and why not in khashiya to fear, and why not in nasiya to forget? Again, I did say there are some rules to apply. So in these two fails, the rule is not applied. This is why the ya will not change. Ata, to come, radiya, to be satisfied, to be content, to be happy. Okay. This fail radiya, original letter was wow. The last letter was wow. And it changed to ya. Okay, let me tell you this rule. Do you remember? Is okay. If not, maybe we will learn these rules later on. Ra, dad, wow. Radiwa. Okay, so why do Arab they change wow and ya to alif? Why they change it? They say the wow and the ya is thaqil on the tongue. To pronounce these two letters is heavy on the tongue. So they change to something else which is easy, which is alif. Alif is easy to pronounce. Yeah. So radi wa, the wa is heavy on the tongue, and there is a rule. If before wow or ya, especially wow, take the wow, ya is already there. Before wow is if there is a kasra. Over here we see wow and we see kasra before it. So this is the rule. If there is a wow before it kasra, that wow changes to ya. Radiya. Radiya. Yeah. So the rule also applied to other files as well. So we will look at the rules in the later lessons. So from this table, total word comes 891. I did add this asa and I did not add this number 27 to this. So we can say 7 is 8, 7 is 11, so you can say 911 times. Okay. So we will see in the sum of the figures, the original letter comes back. If the original letter was waw, the waw will come back. And if the original letter was ya, the ya will come back in some of the figures. So let's take da'a, one of the famous verse. The fail comes 197 times. Da'a yad'u, to call. Let's go through, make al-madi. So it was wow, the original letter was wow. Okay. Da'awa, this was the original letter, wow. Okay, let me tell you this rule as well. If wow or ya has harakat, one of the harakat could be fatha, could be kasra, could be dhamma. Doesn't matter, as long as it has a haraka. If ya and wow has a haraka and before it fatha, so before is ayn, we're having a fatha. So ya and wow having haraka, before them or before it as a fatha, wow or ya changes to alif. Okay, so that's why it became da'a. Figure number 2. Okay, here if we change the wow to alif, it become da'a. So we need another alif for muthanna or damir to give us huma meaning. So we cannot write like this. So in muthanna siga, the original letter comes back. Okay, then we can say da'awa. I hope you understood this. So in siga number 2, the original letter will come back. If it's wow, wow will come back. If it's ya, ya will come back. So we can add the damir alif to this siga. Da'awa. Da'a. Let's look at this. The original letter was, sorry, the wow. This is the original letter. And then we have the damir wow to give us home meaning. Right? Here we need to apply another rule. And if you don't remember these rules, doesn't matter, as long as just memorize the sigas. This wow is the damir of whom to give us whom meaning. This is the fa'il. So in reading, we also call this a mad letter. In reading, we call a mad letter to stretch. So remember, when wow or ya as a mad letter comes with the original wow or ya, the original wow and ya drops. The original wow and ya drops. So you remain with da'aw, da'aw. The wow will have a sukun. We've got first 3 sigas, da'a, da'awa, da'aw. Da'a, da'awa, da'aw. So the original siga was da'a. We need a ta sakin to make muannas. It becomes da'at, da'at. But there's a problem here. Again, the rule is, remember, whenever alif comes, whenever empty alif comes, okay, so empty alif is considered a sakin alif. I hope you got that. Empty alif, although we pronounce stretching, but it is considered sukun on it, hidden sukun on it. Yeah. Now, just for example, if we put a sukun here, what's happening? Two sukun coming together. In Arabic, we don't have two sukun coming together. One of them has to drop. One of them has to drop. Which one can we drop? Can we drop ta? If we drop ta, it will not give us muannas meaning. So ta is important. What we can drop is the alif. Becomes da'at. Da'at. From here we can make the musanna. Da'ata. Da'ata. The muannas jama. This is the original. The waw is the original. We need the noon fatha. Let's apply the rule here. Remember I said whenever there is a waw or ya, harakat on it. And before it is a fatha. So in this case, does this waw have haraka on it? No. So the rule will not apply here. The waw has to be haraka on it, and then we look before it fatha. Then we can change the waw or ya into alif. But because this waw does not have haraka, the rule will not apply in this siga. So it becomes da'awna. Da'awna. Same thing here. The waw original letter is not haraka, means it's not mutaharrik. A letter having haraka on it, we call it mutaharrik. Adding the damir to make the siga. Da'awta. Da'awtuma. Da'awtum. Remember, I'm not teaching you here the ajwaf rules. I'm not teaching you the naqis rules. I'm just going through the rules. If you do remember, it's okay. If not, just memorize the sigas. دعا, دعوا, دعوا, دعت, دعتا, دعونا, دعوت, دعوتما, دعوتم. Copy this and change it to kasra to give us muannas meaning. دعوتي. Copy that and paste it here. دعوتما. Same thing. Sorry. Copy that. Paste it here and put the muannas damir. دعوتن. واحد متكلم. Change the damir to dhamma. دعوت. And here change the damir to جمع متكلم. دعونا. I hope you understood. So let's go through this فعل ماضي of ناقص. The original letter was waw. دعا دعوا دعوا دعت دعتا دعونا. They all female called. دعوت, you one male called. دعوتما, both of you male called. دعوتم, you all male called. دعوتي, واحد مؤنث مخاطب, you one woman called. دعوتما, both of you called. دعوتن, all of you female called. دعوت, I called. دعونا, we called. Right, let's take another fail with original was yeah. Let's take hada. This was the original hadaya. Hadaya. Ya mutaharrik. Ya having fath on it. This is called ya mutaharrik. Before it, which is called ma qabal. Ma qabal. Ya mutaharrik. Ma qabal before it fatha. So ya changes to alif, but we don't write with alif. We keep the ya, sorry, without the dot. The ya without the dot. So there is a fatha before it, and ya without a dot. It is called alif. Okay, alif maksura. Hada, hada. This is the original. Remember we said in the second siga, the original comes back. So all we need is the ya, hada, ya. I keep forgetting to change this color. هذا يا هذا يا the jama هذا just keep the original like this. This is the original. What was the rule applied here? There's a fatha before it. Okay. So the original ya will drop. So it becomes hadaw. Hadat, hadata. This was the last letter. What do we do on the last letter from this siga? We put a sukun. So here the ya is not mutaharrik, so the rule will not be applied here. Just like the damir nun niswa, hadayna. sorry هديت هديتما هديتم هديت هديتما هديتن نكتبها at the end. Why is it coming here? Okay. هديتن and واحد متكلم هديت جمع متكلم هدينا هدى هدايا هدوا هدت هدتا هدينا هديت هديتما هديتم هديتي هديتما هديتن هديت هدينا. Remember in the Quran, because this file is to guide, we're not going to use many of the sigas. Only 2-3 sigas are used in the Quran. The first one is hada. The lafz Allah will be the fa'il, hadallahu, and hadayna. When Allah is talking about we guided, hadayna. Okay, so I hope you understood. So let's go through this and memorize them. Forget the rule, you don't need to remember the rules, just memorize the sigas. Radiya, so this ya was changed from waw, and because this ya is mutaharrik, but look at ma qabal. What was the rule? Ma qabal has to be fatha, then the ya will change. But here ma qabal is kasra. Oops. So we don't apply the rule here. So this remains that it is radiya. Radiya. Here we will change. Radi, which is you, then waw for the damir, and the alif is written here. Okay. Now, the rule is, again, if you don't remember, don't worry. We need to apply the rule to make this siga. When there is a ya and waw comes with the damir, or comes with a mad letter. So the original ya drops. Simple rule. When ya or waw comes with a ضمير of فعل ماضي or a mud letter, the ya drops. Number one. Number two, the ما قبل حركة, the ما قبل is the ضاد. The ما قبل حركة also changes according to the mud letter. Remember we said واو demand ضمة, comes ضمة. رضو. Okay. So رضية, رضيا, رضو. رضيت, رضيتا. Again, over here, the original letter comes back. No, no. Here, this, because we've changed from wow to yeah, we'll keep the yeah. This is the yeah. And what happens to the last letter from this figure? Sakin. Just have to add the damirs. Okay. Radina. Radita. Radituma. Raditum. Raditi. Radituma. Raditun. Raditu. Radina. Radiya, radiya, radu. Radiyat, radiyata, radina. Radita, radituma, raditum, raditi, radituma, raditunna, radi. Sorry, why I'm having all the, because I copied from this one. No, this is okay. Radiyat, radiyata, radina. From here. Raditu, radituma, raditum, raditi, radituma, raditun, raditu, radina. Okay. Raditu, I am pleased. I am happy. Raditu, I'm happy. There's a hadith, is a dua, yes. I don't remember the reward for this dua. If anyone remember, you can remind me. We're supposed to say in the morning and in the evening. As I said, I'm not here to teaching you the rules. Don't remember the rules. Just delete it, just forget it. Just memorize the table of ناقص fails. رضيت بالله ربا. I'm sure that many of us we know this. رضيت بالله ربا وبالإسلام دينا وبمحمد رسولا ونبيا. So this figure comes there. Raditu, I'm happy. Billahi Rabban, with Allah as a Lord. I'm happy to make Allah my Lord. وبالإسلام دينا, and Islam as a religion. وبمحمد, and I'm happy to make Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam Rasul and Nabi. So that's Raditu. Let's go through once more. Radiya, Radiya, Radu, Radiyat, Radiyata, Radina, Radita, Radituma, Raditum, Raditi, Radituma, Raditunna, Raditu, Radina. So we have these three types of naqis. One is the original changed from wow. This is the chart. Any fi'l that changed from wow, we can put this chart and conjugate. Any fi'l that has changed from yeah, you can put in this chart and make the fi'ls. And this is just the special one. It changed from wow to yeah, the last letter. No changes here. Only just remember this siga radu. Okay. Right, I've got some examples from the Quran. Those examples are famous. We read again and again. Just go through them quickly. I may ask you to translate one of them. Let's see which one is easy one we know. I'll ask you to translate. هنالك دعا زكريا ربه. Over here, do we see any ism in حالة النسب? Yes, we do see رب. That will be the maf'ul. Zakaria is the fa'il. Again, there are some type of isms that don't show the halatul rafa or they don't show halatul nasb. From the context, we'll know Zakaria will remain even it comes in halatul rafa or it comes in halatul nasb. In the last lesson, I think we talked about like Musa, Isa. These isms will not change in halatul rafa or halatul nasb. It will remain as it is, but from the context, we'll know. Hunalika, there, Zakaria called Rabbahu, his Lord. Next, Da'awtumuhum. It was Da'awtum, you all called. Da'awtum. If you do remember, when we were learning attached damir with fal madi, especially this siga, jama, mukhatab, mudhakkar. So jama, mudhakkar, mukhatab. When we add the damir, remember we said wow, we need to put a wow after tum. So it becomes da'awtumuhum. You all called them. Next, وَإِذَا مَسَّ الْإِنسَانَ الضُّرُّ, which ism is halatul rafa and which ism is in halatul nasb. The halatul rafa ism will make the fa'il and halatul nasb ism will make the maf'ul. Massa is another fi'l, to afflict, to touch. So durru is calamity. Durru, durrun, calamity or hardship. So when hardship afflicts humans, da'a, na. So this damir is maf'ul attached with the fi'l. So here da'a is the fi'l, huwa damir is the fa'il. So da'a is the wahid mudhakkar ghaib sigha. When calamity touches or comes or afflicts al-insan over here, we can say all humans or a person. Da'a, because al-insan, the ism itself is wahid, so that's why da'a, the siga wahid is here, the huwa is the fa'il. Then he calls us. Next, da'awullaha. Remember the original siga was da'aw, they called. Da'aw, they called. Okay. Now when we join the next word to here, to this siga, we put a dhamma. Da'awullaha, because there was a sukun here, and the alif of loves Allah is Hamzatul Wasl, means you need to connect together and read. But how can we when there is a sukun before it? Sukun before it. Yes, we did learn a simple rule when we need to put a haraka on a sakin letter. Normally, what haraka do we put? Kasra. But because this is the Jama Siga, we cannot put Kasra here. We'll put a Dhamma to keep it Jama Siga. Da'awullaha, they called Allah. Da'awtu kum, tu is the file, kum is the maf'ul. Da'awtukum, I called you. Okay, translate this one. See what Siga it is. And the file and the maf'ul. Da'awallaha rabbahuma. Okay. So from the huma we will know what siga is. Da'awa. And look at the damir, what damir is coming with it to make the fa'il. Da'awallaha rabbahuma. Yes, I just quickly translate this one. Okay, so da'awa is the muthanna ghaib siga. They both called. Loves Allah is in halatul nasb. Rabba huma, their Lord. They both called on their Rabb, on their Lord. Good. Next one. إذا دعاني. So da'a is the wahid mudhakkar ghaib siga. He called. He is the ya mutakallim. Me. He called me. Remember we said we cannot, ya demands kasra before it, and we cannot give this ya the kasra. So the noon comes. Now noon can have the kasra. إذا دعاني. إذا means when he called me. This we can translate continuous, when he calls me. Okay, here one thing to remember, in the Quran, this ya mutakallim many of the times dropped. Right? So the noon kasra is a hint. So why would this noon have a kasra then? This is a hint that ya was deleted because of kasrat istimal. Da'ani, da'ani, da'ani. So because of a lot of usage of that ya mutakallim, that's why they drop it, and the kasra is there to show the ya was dropped. Otherwise, واو or this noon have a kasra. So da'a is مذكر واحد صيغة. He called ni. Normally we will see at the end of ayah at the time of waqf, and we read إذا دعان. Allah saying وإذا سألك عبادي عني فإني قريب. When my servant asks about me, فإني قريب, I'm very near. And then he says, I answer their call إذا دعاني. Yeah, أجيب دعوة الداعي. أجيب, I answer the call of the caller. دعوة الداعي إذا دعاني, when he calls me. Right, so there's few other verbs here. جزا يجزي, to give reward. Here جزيتهم, I rewarded them اليوم, today. ذلك جزيناهم بما كفروا. ذلك جزيناهم, that is, we've given them reward, or that is the reward we have given them. There is something before mentioned. بما كفروا. كفر كفرا كفروا is a fail. جمع مذكر غائب صيغة. Now tell me, is this meme the meme we've learned to make fail negative? Is it ما كفروا or ما كفروا? ما كفروا. Or is it ما كفروا? Is it the negative ma, or is it the ma that gives الذي meaning? I think from the context we'll know. That we have rewarded them, they denied. They not denied, they did not do kufr. Does that make sense? No. Yes, this is the meaning of alladhi, because what they have denied. Yeah? That is the reward that we have given them because of that which they denied. Okay, last one. There's few other examples. You can go through the later. This is last one. Hadakum. We know this is the first sigha. Hada, he guided. Kum, you. Now here, when the damir of maf'ul is attached with the naqis fails, with naqis fails, it is written with original alif. Hadakum. It's not written with the ya. So the fail naqis will be written with the ya when it's by itself. But when the damir is attached, and the damir is maf'ul damir muttasil, attached damir. So the ya is written with alif. Hadakum. So this hada is still wahid ghaib sigha, and kum is the damir to become maf'ul. So ya is written with alif. Hadakum, he guided you. Okay, last one again. Hadanallahu. Over here, same thing. Lafz Allah is the file. Hadana is the maf'ul, is attached. So this ya is written with alif. Hadanallah. Hadanallah. All right, I've got a few other examples over here. Just go through these examples. This is the famous dua. هديتنا comes here. So let's read the dua and end the lesson. ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا. Wallah, do not deviate our hearts after that you have guided us. هديت, you guided, ناقص. وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة, and shower, bestow your mercy upon us. إنك أنت الوهاب, and you are the best of the givers. أنت الوهاب. إنك, indeed, you are the best of the givers. It is said that if you want to stay as a mu'min, if you want to stay in Islam as a mu'min, keep reading this dua. Keep reading this dua. Make this dua your daily dua. Morning, afternoon, evening, every time. Allah will not take you out of Iman. Because this is the dua we're asking Him. Don't deviate our heart after you have guided us. Inshallah, we will remain mu'min, or if it's a female, mu'minah, until our last breath. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. رب ارحمهما كما ربياني صغيرا. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.